Good morning everyone, Liam here. I've got a game that's suggested to me by RVA, so I'll do another video on this. It's a 3v3 that's played on flats. We've got RVA, John, and Apolagies versus Night Raven, Cal, and Yoda. So let's hop into it now. So flats is that map that's got these really annoying cliffs that just make, well, they can make walling easy I guess, but pretty annoying when you try to send units to your opponents. The pathing is obnoxious. And obviously they're stealing space from you as well, where you want to place your buildings. Not a fan of the cliffs. Starting off with 4 nerfs here. There should be groups of 2 scattered around, up to about 8. People get those in the nursery. Probably want to eat one of them just now to sustain your worker production, because there doesn't seem to be any other sort of food other than this lone Cadu here. Spectacular. Yeah, the hunt spawning's never equal in this game. Well, there's 2 of them. Well, amazing. This is not worth it with a food processor. Better to just make farms. See that RVA is going to just farm. I myself, I probably would have eaten 1 or 2 of these and then done the farms just to keep the worker count going. See the attack's done that. John straight into the farming. Yoda eating a couple. Then going into the farming. Cal doing the same. So it's pretty much, it's almost like a farm off, but you're going to have added injection of some nerfs in the nursery there to keep you going. Make it a bit easier and speed the game up. Because I think a farm off it ends up with like 14 minutes before a T2 or something like that. It takes a very long time. So since RV is TF, he's got his carbon processor down. A little bit quicker than other people, I think. Doesn't need to make houses. Too much lag from Yoda there. The guy with 250 ping. Players are getting there. Foreign farms. Arby's really taking ahead here. His farming. Seven farms. Cal only on 4 farms. Ton. They're both playing the same civ. To be fair, I did eat his nerfs, like a couple of nerfs, so. You see that RVA is 3 population behind? Because of that decision not to eat nerfs. John also didn't eat his nerfs, 3 population behind. Attack and Cal, 8 nerfs, 3 pop ahead. So you can see the sort of difference. There might be certain instances where this is good to have these farms earlier, I'm not sure. But I would always look at it as more workers, more money, more opportunities. Better to have. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit now. Just because it's just building workers and placing farms. And get further into the game. Try and not make the video super long. I don't think there's any opportunities for like really good early walling. See, Yoda's already got his troop center down. See the pocket? No, he has a wing. Okay, this is his wing. So they both got their TCs down. That's fine. Harvey getting his now. Night Raven, no such thing. Very obscure farm placement as well. Like, not taking these trees down, not got them properly packed together. He's sort of cutting himself out of having a couple of farms around the command centre. It's a bit inefficient. And that's what really makes the difference to your food income when you've got a lot of farms. It's just how efficient it is, because they've got to walk to these corners of the farm and then walk back to the command centre and deposit the food. There's very little you can do other than the initial setup to determine how efficient they are. It's not like the carbon processors where you just make a new one, and you make a new one, and you make a new one. It's all on you and how you place your farms. The troop centre's going down. It's very rare to see RV on the troops, I think. The Mighty coming out with just one troop centre. It's very greedy. It's the kind of thing that you would do against someone that you think's T3. See, RV's got a very good carbon arc here. Once he gets his troops going, he's going to be really firing ahead with his economy. Could definitely sustain just adding on all his new workers to farms as well. What about the other side? A lot of troops heading over to John here. From Yoda. I almost wonder if RV's misread the situation, because you can see that he's playing on the defensive here. He's got his scout in his opponent's base, but he's so ahead in terms of his military infrastructure, units out. Look at Yoda here pushing ahead. I need to go to the next game because I can control these units. This is a two-parter. It looks like they saved the game and they left it in a state where I could just play the game now. So, Yoda here looking to pressure onto the carbon of John. It's very well exposed. No turrets down. He's T2. I don't know if he's got his own troops out. He hasn't really got much together. He's so far behind Yoda here. Look at the difference. It looks like Yoda is cutting out a few corners here just to get lots and lots of troops out. See, the RVA is pressuring now. If he'd gone just from the get-go, he really could have overwhelmed Night Raven and just slayed him. Or at least forced double turrets. And then he'd be free to abuse this really badly placed farms. There's like 3 different angles that you could come and shoot these workers at. All the prefab shelters would probably end up doing is sort of almost sim-citying out the defending troops from getting a proper arc around them. Because it's always more than likely that the defending force is going to be larger than the attacking force. Sniping the farm now. There's the double turrets now. This just could have been a lot earlier before he even had the troops out. But he's taking advantage of his lead here. And you can see in the contrast, this is what happens with T2 trooping, and when you always want to be the aggressor almost, because if you look at RVA's base, he can add on all these farms and he can farm freely, but Stuart is not the same here for Night Raven, because his farms are under threat, they're being pushed away. Fortunately, his pocket has bailed him out here with these fighters from Cal, and RVA is just going to have to start turtling up now. There's not much you can do aggressively anymore. With the strike mechs, you can at least try and fight them a little bit, force a bit more micro, but the air, because since it can't be shot back, you can just leave it on aggressive stance and it's going to kill all the troopers. However, the counter is quite easy. Just a few anti-air troopers that can deal with this. And you see the Night Raven is going to push with this air here. That's giving him quite an advantage. Not really an excuse to lose any of these. Just micro. See that John's pushed Yoda back, but he's looking to maybe go T3 himself now. He's got quite a bit of, it looks like he's killed quite a few workers since when he got in there early with his troops. And there really wasn't much to defend. You can see that RVA's team's fallen behind here a little bit. Does look like there's some air coming out of an attack here. But he's also having strikes sent to him, so it looks like Cal's doing a really good job of controlling this game. And because he's attacking the enemy pocket, he's making it much harder for the enemy pocket to actually react to him on the wing here with his air. You see he's getting free kills there because he's diverted his attention to deal with these strike mechs. Because of the way the flats is, the forests aren't really that big, so there's loads of angles to be shot at on the mining carbon workers. He's got a nice little spot here behind the carbon, and here as well, just out of range of the turret, which completely shuts down RVA mining any carbon. Again, he's just that little bit ahead attack here. So every time he's sending his fighters almost one at a time to try and deal with this, and they're just getting sniped by the superior fighter count. However, it looks like John's managed to send his troops over to Cal, who's actually quite exposed at the moment, and he's killed an awful lot of workers. And Cal's he's somewhat all in a sense with what he's doing, because he's got the double air base, he's Trade Federation. You can see all the workers that he's had to put onto Nova. He has managed to get himself a second command center here and guaranteed some ore. Were he to be striked by his enemy pocket, he would have crumbled, because he just wouldn't have the infrastructure to deal with it. So in a sense, the tentative one airbase response is not very good. It wouldn't really be a problem with Wookiees going double airbase either, because they can take that to T4. Cal's just going to throw away his hair here. Which is a real shame, because it's what he had a superior count over. It's the way that he could impact this game as pocket, and he's thrown that away. And obviously he's suffered a lot of worker losses as well. I mean, if we look at his economy, he's only got 5 workers on carbon right now, which isn't great. I think he must be buying carbon here with the Nova that he's mining. He's trying to pressure attack a little bit more with these strike mechs, but he's quite well equipped to deal with it now. So I think things are going to slow down a little bit, and the aggression's really just going to come from the 2 wings now. So you can see that Yoda's pressuring onto John with his fighters. We've got RVA sending out his strike mechs now. Night Raven is T3 as well. A second command center coming down. Cal is still trying to do what he can here, but again, bad sort of trades being taken by his fighters. John just sacking these troopers. Don't really have much relevance anymore. I think he is stuck in T2 though. Attack desperate to try to keep him alive here with his air. RV's sort of stabilised, he should be able to defend himself. He's in T3, he's got some anti-air troopers, and because Cal threw away like his initial fighter count, if he still had that and he had this, he could absolutely overwhelm this defence. Because he doesn't have a turret, he's only got quite a few fighters he's only got like 7 or so anti-air troopers, they're not upgraded. So if you double this count and you send that over, it would be a massacre. See that John really doesn't have enough to defend this. These could out micro these as well. Yeah. It's extremely hard for an attack to deal with all this with the way that he's built his infrastructure. He's not focused on one thing. I mean, even if you went full strike max as T3 here, you could just use them all to be hitting Cal, and then Cal can't divert his attention the same to the wings. And if he's getting knocked off his Nova and off of his farms, and he's struggling and he's having to cut corners and build mech destroyers to chase your units around, he's not going to be able to make as much fighters, and he's not going to be able to micro them onto your wings as such. If you have the double air base from the get-go, you have enough air that you can just send it and you can just follow him around, shadow him, defend your wings that way. If you go for a more boom-centric approach, you can get the heavy weapons factory early and just rally a couple of anti-air mobiles and maybe an MD or two. But he's kind of tried to do all three things. He's just come in second place. It's just extremely fortunate that Cal threw away all those fighters. But you can see that he's got up to that double count now, but the window is gone. He could really make a great use of those, because he is trade fed. These don't scale into anything. You don't get any T4 upgrades as such. It'd be really better to just go into like a proper boom. Start getting your war center upgrades and scale into something a bit better. T4 strike mechs or a forward with some artillery, MDs. Goes into a proper boom in 10 minutes from now, he can be forwarding onto RVA here. And then that will make RVA an attack very uncomfortable. See that RVA has been quite greedy with not making turrets, but it's a good trade really. They're cutting this fighter count down and all they've lost is a couple of anti-air troopers. Cal is just not, there's not really a threat from him in terms of harassment anymore. He's just getting outscaled. He doesn't have any strike mechs on the way with upgrades. Just on Night Raven to do a little bit here, but there's not much he can do because he's still playing catch up as a wing. On the other side of things, it looks like Ioniton's probably going to go T4 here, or Yoda rather. That's his name. Couple of bombers to defend. A little bit interesting to see Alve over there. I think he's maybe had the thought that this guy's going to T4. Don't know if he's on his way. Yeah, he's halfway there. Probably be better for them to get a lot of anti-air mobiles out and a lot of command centres to hide in and weather the storm. Still making fighters. Attack seems to be just crawling towards the centre with these command centres. John seems to be the furthest behind here in this game. Try to build airbase research centre. I don't know if they're planning to send him resources or what, but he really shouldn't be the one on that team going for T4 air if necessary. You see that RVA stopped making strike mechs and sacked all the ones that he has. Cal's looking a little bit healthier now. The game time on. But I think if Cal forgoed all those extra fighters that really didn't do anything, he could be placing a forward right now. And RVA, who's having to really turtle up with turrets and go into a big boom here to weather the storm of this that's coming, he would just crumble because he wouldn't be able to allocate the resources to deal with the forward. So here comes the air. A lot of workers are about to be called. We'll start this at 101 population and we'll see where that ends. I think when you've got this much fighters and there's no like fighters to deal with, you just split them up into two groups and micro them around, because they do the same thing whether they're this amount or half. They one-shot the workers basically, like at this point. You could be raiding 2 players right now, or 2 areas of RVA's base. Just completely shutting down all mining. So he's lost 21 population to this raid. Seems to be flying away. Maybe spending a little bit too long here. There's 3 players for him to be raiding. You can see the attacks getting there to T4. He's almost T4 now. And he's got enough fighters to deal with it if he gets the upgrades. So he's just sort of losing his window to go and harass it. You can see that he's still going for RVA. I imagine the decision making is because RV is the better player on this team and he thinks, oh, I really need to frustrate him and make him not able to play the game. But more often than not, the better players in the teams are the most tenacious ones. So you're almost contradicting your own strategy. Like you ruin it for yourself here. You need to go and raid the other players as well. If a tenacious player can see that his allies are absolutely fine, he'll build back and you'll be able to lean on them for strength as well. You see the fast fighters are out now for attack, so the window to raid him is sort of shut down. He might almost get baited into a trade and then get his counter fighters wiped. And John as well, like he could have just killed him, probably. It's a shame that all these workers have been left exposed. There's so many of them. And the attack sent his air away. I don't think this should have happened. This is really good from Stuart. From Night Raven, you see he's putting the fort down as well. This is what Cal should have been doing 10 minutes ago though. You see, you got to wonder what Cal's up to. Like, it's like he's turned on a script that just builds workers and he's left. Because like, there's no extra carbon for these guys here. Making a couple of anti-air turrets, still making new command centers. He should be out there producing units by now. Like Night Raven is here. He's got half his score. He's going to have further impact. You see, the attack just seems to be almost killing himself to try and help RVA desperately. Flying his fighters over here. He needs to be using to get these out of his base. His economy is just completely shut down right now. It's still in the command centers. RVA's deleted his command center there. Don't know why. Planning to make 2 forts. I hope that got deleted. I wasn't paying attention to the ore. And a ton of air. You see that John has also gone T4 air. You've got two people with really bad ecos half-assedly going T4 air against one person with a good eco properly going T4 air. John's managed to get some turrets. I would say that you would have probably had a window to get advanced bombers and just kill John with those. Because if you're someone that's cutting loads of corners to go T4 air, and you can't guarantee your air stays alive, you're not going to be able to deal with the bombers. A few of them will take out your turrets and you'll die. Don't have A-mobiles or anything like that, or heavy weapons factories to produce them. So it's looking quite dire for this team. At least it would be if Cal here was planning to contribute any more to the game. He played for about 30 minutes and now he's just no rush 40. You can see that he's built his military infrastructure at the back of his base as well, to then rally his army here and then wander it over. Just forward it. Your teammates here. Join him. Join him on the front and help him out. We see that Yoda is going to transition here. Cal's rallied some of his units over here. I think the problem here for Night Raven is that he is being left alone here 2v1, and see there's air raiding him. And he doesn't really have the infrastructure, like the economic infrastructure, to keep this push going. Because RV is probably a little bit behind here, even with the raiding. Because he's got a lot of command centres. And this is just stabilising him here. It's killing time. Just waiting for Night Raven to burn out. But this push is just, there's not really anything that can stop it on this side, at least. A lot of idols there. What's Yoda's like? Got a decent amount of Nova. I don't know how I feel about the heavy strike mechs just now. Because it's just another raiding tool. I'd like to see some cannons just come at him and just, you know, start laying waste to the base. Take advantage of this point. Don't give them a chance to build back. See how there's not a lot of units here for Night Raven. Yoda dealing with attacks here and there. There's just no ground units though to deal with all this. Okay, it did make Night Destroyers, that's good. Night Destroyers, good upgrades, and then get some Crusaders out as well. Not really a need for Jedi at this point in the game. See the attack, try to repair RB's shield generator for him. It's like some really slow killing here. See what's really going to happen here is, I would think they're going to take a very long time to kill John here, And John is probably just going to spend his life microing these fighters around, because there's nothing else you can really do to contribute to the game. RV will kill his side, I'm guessing, and then there'll be a problem with them not being able to shut RV down as such. I can see that a lot of workers are dying here for Yoda. All these guys have not been garrisoned, and that's a lot of farms he's just lost. Can't be losing these fighters though. Looks like he's going to lose them all. Still getting a lot of worker kills though. Still got some fighters over here as well. So there's nothing to stop this army. Now you're even sort of burned out. Is he T4? He is T4. He hasn't got his upgrades for his artillery though. Cal's got some units here, but remember his production's all the way over here, so it takes ages for them to walk over, and he only seems to make a little at a time. Because I don't see any like, you know, like slowly trickling over. I think he's got a smaller army than RVA does, collectively. So it looks like they're letting John snipe a couple of cannons, slowing down his demise. Attacks, got a few troopers out. Not really an awful lot. He did lose a lot of workers in his Nova. I almost feel he's got too much on Nova and just not enough on the main things, carbon and food. That's why he can't really afford to do anything. No anti-air here with the army. You can see what their priority is stopping RVA. These 5 fighters almost scaring away the big control group. So John's still alive because taking their sweet time. The medium turret versus the cannons. I like it. Good use of ore. I feel you can get a few anti-air mobiles out. So he's got his full bomb off, he's popped now. Looking to get spaceports set up. John's got some airs trying to keep himself alive. Needs to hope that these fighters just wander off. I've already sent him a little bit of money. Cal with the rogue assault mech rallied across the map. Look at this. Like, all of this area should be, like, these resources should be secured by him with his forward. And he should be threatening this side. Threatening to come into this fight or to start a new fight here. Instead, just letting RV push forward, set himself up, and lose no ground and have no threat on his base. So you might not know that Wookiees can get +2 range. They get a secret. Get a special upgrade that gives them +1 range, and then there's one from the research centre. Neither player have got their range upgrades, although, but he could have a huge range advantage here on RVA, which would really help deal with this push. That's what makes Wookie artillery so strong. Range is everything. John bringing over his air here. Is leaving himself to get raided though. But I think they might crumble when this army gets through. Mounties coming through, but you need to just mass up your Mounties and send them in a control group of 40. You need that shock value to get as much kills as possible and reset the army. When they come in small amounts, the MDs actually do decent enough damage. You can see that Cal is diverting his attention to this side. The odd unit being still rallied across here to just die. How much resources does he have? No carbon, but loads of food. Who's got Jedi? John managed to get a couple of Jedi out to convert some assault mechs. Which I don't think there's much reason for Cal to be building. You just have big control groups of mech destroyers. This is better for the Mounties. The air's out of position. There's no strike mechs really. 1, 2. So you see all these artillery gonna die. Bit of a shame that they don't have that strike mech. And what's also a shame is that Cal doesn't really have a ton of units here to move in and take advantage of this weakened army from the other side. So Yoda moving to do a bit more harassment now. Some strike mechs. It's amazing that in about 30 minutes they've only really killed this. When they decided to divert so much resources to this as well. To this push. I mean attack. If they attack he would have died, really. And look how far RVA's marched in that time. Because of this really timid approach to deal with him. They're sitting up here, no shield. They're probably going to be forced into a bad trade, I would think. These buildings are just going to block them getting a proper unit arc as well. There's a lot more strike mechs now from RVA. Doesn't need to rely on John's air or attacks air. A big exodus of workers. We've got all this trade set up as well and just really nothing to show for it. Yoda sending some crusaders, I'm guessing into attack space. I'd like to see his strike mechs shutting down the trade here. This army is just AFK. Could be in an attack or dies base right now. This is the one time that Cal's mech factories have been close to combat. They're not able to wipe this army and reset this push. RV is just reproducing all the units. You can see the trickle here. Doubling down on this. Still nothing from this side. See, the Crusaders have ran in, they're being annoying. Tank just sitting here with a few units. They're like World War One. Just have a no man's land here. Add some trenches. Still rallying into these units. No shields have been put down. Fighting a superior force that has shields with no shields. There's never a huge amount of mounties either, always just a handful. No range upgrades still. 1 hour 13, playing Wookiees. +1 now. They're outranging the Wookie artillery. You see Cal not coordinated here, he's moved his units away from the fight while the Mounties are going in. Mounties have to run back. Artillery try to kill the shield generator and just getting destroyed really easily because there's no shields to give them double their HP pool. It looks like he's missing HP upgrades for them as well. You can see they've got 120 HP. RV 145. I think they're getting a bit worried now. Going back to like harassing tactics, try to kill workers, but the win objective is to kill this push. The better win objective is not letting the push happen in the first place. The RV's overextended a little bit here. You see the nice unit arc that they've managed to form now. This is what happens when your production is near the fight. You can do things like this. So even with the shield generator here, there's not enough. So this is going to get wiped, I think. RV is going to have to just pull what he can away from this and just abandon it. And rebuild his forces in one of his other shield generators. It's bad that he stayed, because the Mounties are coming in now as well. This army has finally left this area. Oh, Crusaders there. A few bombers chasing the strike mechs. They need to get onto the trade. The trade's the lifeblood at this point in the game. A few fighters here. Let's try to be cute. Mike's running the cannons and the assault mechs. They do quite decent damage. I think you might get that one as well. A 5 Mountie care package from attack there. Might kill a couple of units. I don't know if it's worth you or throwing away there. How do they not like going for the throat here? Like, Cal stopped building units. They had them. They've let him make more units and bring them forward. They only took down one shield. They could have taken like 2 or 3. Still no range. Again, Yoda not making units that kill anyone. If he brought these up to here, this is over. Just flank this army and it's game over, I would have thought. Bring these units together. Coordinate. Look at how much they have. I feel like they're coordinating now. I feel like this is happening. This army is going to get flanked. Oh my, if he just had a range upgrade, bruv. The things these could do with +2 range. Right, these are going in, but are these units going to come forward? Or are the fighters going to kill them? What should we watch? Should we watch the Crusaders doing their best to kill this army of shielded units, or are these guys just not coming forward at all? Bloody hell. How many Crusader deaths? How many times do you need to hear that death scream? And he has to leave. With half the Crusaders. So instead of this army being completely wiped, we get to watch it make a tactical retreat. With pretty much full force. Nothing really dying. He's on this trade now, that's good. Wow, please don't stack up like that. These guys need to put shields down and secure what they've taken back. They're running away now. They've so many units. This is so much artillery to build and not upgrade them. This one Jedi Master, commander of this force. He's coming in to get that assault mech. Local man takes no damage until he runs into the entire army. I'm Jedi Master and this is Jackass. So tons more Crusaders, but again, just chilling down here. Look at these boys. These are the bravest carbon workers you've ever seen in your life. Look at them go. Oh, but they got the sentry post, they're safe. Killing a few of RV's workers, but you'll just rebuild them. Look at this army. Imagine if it was shielded. Imagine if you could double the hit points of all of these units. Wow. I cannot fathom why you would build your air bases there. Again, these Crusaders just... I will engage, we will retreat. Jedi scary. 2 Jedi terrifying. No strike mechs. Like, Night Raven needs to make more than just artillery. And as we know, he needs to upgrade them, but... Like, where's the Wookie troopers? Like, the repeater troopers. And grenadiers. They do so good. Crusaders go in. Are they moving forward? Absolutely not. Love of God. Attack, it's been so long that Attack or Die has actually got forces together now. Which is a differential that they probably can't deal with. Yoda had all this air, but didn't bring it in at the same time as the Crusaders. But most of what's killing his Crusaders is the fighters. And why is Night Raven making fighters? What's the need? If he'd made like 40, 50 like upgraded... Why has he only got +1 as well? An hour and a half in the game. You should have these upgrades. You might think I'm being harsh as viewers, but these people should know better. played a lot of games in an awful long time. And you might see big epic fight, but what I see is should have won the game an hour ago. Instead, seem to be losing it. It's not down to huge like micro blunders or anything like that. It's more like this, not doing the basics. I don't think the assault mechs are a good idea when you've got someone that's just gonna make Jedi. They're just gonna get converted. I mean, these do the same thing, really. They're gonna get really pumped by the Wookie troopers from attack, I think. Taking them so long to kill RV that a air cruiser is going to fly from this fort all the way to this battlefield and probably kill all these artillery. If I know that what they're going to do is they're going to walk into these units that they technically, with upgrades, will outrange. You can see they've got 11, these could have 12. No shields again, fighting into shields, just so much attrition. And of course, as they get further away into RV's base, Cal becomes less efficient. This Mounty's getting on top, but there's some fighters there. Should there be some strike mechs in with this? It's going to be really scary if attack shows up with like 50 advanced Mounties. Has that air cruiser reached the battlefield yet? Some Grens wandering over. Why are you never coordinated? Ah, why? Why couldn't you do that like 30 minutes ago? So, much like RV wall, almost the entire map, other than where they're fighting. Making the trade super secure, allowing John to get away with what antics he's up to. Which is like some air, some Jedi. He's definitely caught up with his eco, I would have thought. The amount of time that they've allotted him there. Attack as well, seems to have set himself up. Gotten a lot of his trooper upgrades now. Do you think we'll see a ranged upgrade this game? I actually don't think we will. I don't think he's going to replace them, is he? A few. Yeah, all these units just not in the fight. The Cal pipeline. It has to go too far. It loses pressure after a certain distance. These Crusaders are not learned the lessons of their forebears though. Planning to go in again with zero support. RVA sponsoring John. Sending the monies. So the AC has made its, it's completed its its trip all the way here, its journey. wouldn't say trip, you tend to come back from a trip. It's got one purpose, to shoot units that walk forward. So Stuart's made all this air, rather than good units to support his artillery. Need to take that fight attack. You've got turrets. Only defending a sentry post at the wall. This game's getting a lot longer than I thought it would be. A lot longer than it should be. Some of the walls and the confidence shatters that this side has had in their pushing antics. So I return to a bit of nothing happening other than just a bit of air trading around. It's almost like the start of T4 again. I think they're going to move a lot of their eco here. What I can see happening is John managing to harass the hell out of it, because their attention will be too diverted up the top of here. Other, oh, that's a locally built air cruiser, not like this one. It's not done tour de flats. Oh, Cal Army. The patent slow line formation travel. Built at home safely. Why can't we have a shield here? Why can't we have a shield here? It's late game. You've got Infinite Nova, Bior, create big unit arcs. The RV seems to have replaced all the units with Salt Mechs at this point. We've got 3 ACs as well. Don't seem to have anything to deal with them. The AA turret is so far behind the army that these can actually take decent shots at the units. Just reset their shield. Need to run them away, get the shield back. Not micro. Seems to have been pulling his own air home, or well, to this fight, hoping to snipe them, but they're taking the trade instead. It's got Night Raven backing him up here. I think they might kill one AC, but no doubt they'll do that. It's not worth it. They can just replace them. They've got infinite resources. See, I don't think he can place anti-air turrets as he pushes. It's almost like the threat of killing the ACs is better than taking the trade. He didn't micro away. That was poor. But you will replace them. Seems to be a lot of kills here. Maybe a bit of miss micro. You're going to take advantage of that. Still 10 range. 1 hour 46. He's got some aimobiles. Attack, opening up some new avenues of attack. See that Yoda's gotten into the Jedi now. That's causing them problems. The bravest carbon workers have transitioned. They've reskilled as the bravest farmers. behind enemy lines. There's a lot of Jedi coming forward to do some converting here. There might be a bit of a AoE. You really got to spread these units out. Don't like having them like that. Kind of want to spread them out and just have them chilling behind your mech destroyer. So your mech destroyer's a tank in the shots, and these guys can shoot behind them. They've got 1 extra range. AC's getting sniped, but at what cost? Lots of fighters being lost. They're doing the job that these AA mobiles can do. A lot of Jedi coming forward. You're gonna have to delay, stabilise, and let RV get an army together again. Meanwhile, John looking for some harassment opportunities with his air, because he knows they keep throwing away all their air. These Jedi, I think, have walked back outside when they were in the space. They were behind the gate. It doesn't matter, there's a hole. Bounty hunters coming forward. A lot of units dying, just like the assault mechs are almost killing the army. Shooting the Jedi on the units. Want to get that shield down. Where's all the cannons? Cannons could be sitting comfortably in these shields. Guaranteed by those units. Got a lot more range. They could shoot at the buildings, take them down, while the units fight the units. There we go. Shields for once. But we need cannons as well. And you need these units to be in the fight. Attack or die, laying the smackdown on that carbon processor. So they're going to abandon the shield that they set up. And we've definitely got more than enough units to hold it. Lots of idols. They're running out of carbon. See, RV's got quite a healthy bank of carbon. Mainly because he hasn't hemorrhaged units in the same rate as them. Cal's got no resources. He's burned out. He's stuck at 180 pop. Attack's looking fine. Night Raven's got no resources. Yoda's got no resources. It's been a war of attrition. RV, the Russian player, it's like the German forces marching into Russia, except the Russian forces marched across and still there was horrible, horrible attrition for the other side. He's got plenty of resources, he can remax his army, and there's going to be very little resistance offered. Instead it's just desperate Jedi Master sorties here into their base. It's not really going to amount to anything. A few cannons pushing across, but all they've really got is some fighters. Cal making some more assault mechs, but he's going to struggle. I've seen a lot of grey where farms used to be. The solo push with ACs, assault mechs, shield generators. This building force. Bravest farmer's still alive. Are there any units from Stuart? Night Raven, he's still not got range. Almost 2 hours, no range. Not even one range. No range a day. Attacker John supporting this push. Looks like those Jedi have been thwarted. banished back. And the assault mech's just going to push. Oh, look at them stacking up. Just micro, come on, shoot them, shoot them, shoot them, shoot them. Look at the value you're going to get here. Shoot, 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 shoot. Oh, come on, shoot, shoot. Don't run away! Shoot them! Look at them, shoot them! Shoot them! Forget 2 for 1 deals, you're going to get like 8 for 1. Go! Yes. Oh, calling GG. Out of resources. Stacking up all your assault mechs. What a shame. Certainly good combat, entertaining elements to it though. But for realsies, these boys should have won. An hour ago. In a bit. Anyway, if you like what you saw, if you managed to make it to this point, it's quite a long video. Can't really be spending an hour and 6 minutes watching a YouTube video. But if you made it to this point, I hope you enjoyed it. You can like, comment, subscribe if you want to support the channel. If you want to play the game like this, I would suggest that you play on Woobly, where we've got a lot of patches that are made by pretty much this player, RV8, that have fixed a lot of the out of sync problems. It's a lot of like the random bugs and stuff that plague the game. It's a very old game, and you know, with each iteration of Windows operating systems and all the technology surrounding it, it gets worse and plays worse. But it's fixed a lot of those things. Slight balance adjustments as well, maybe more in the future, unsure. But it's definitely the place to play. That's how you can get it in widescreen like this as well. So that's www.woobly.com to play it there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.